Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to that 40k Lunchtime Show, where we dive into the meta, analyze lists, and provide you with all the grade A banter you could ever desire. And I should say, welcome podcast listeners, because we've had Jerry ask if we could put this up on podcasts. Although this is actually like episode 6, we are going to be doing this on podcast as well now. So, hello. Now, obviously, as always, I'm joined by some esteemed guests. There is currently no Mr. Ed Watts. He's maybe asleep, who knows? But we found someone even juicier and fruitier because we've got the internet 40k celebrity that is Tom Lohman. How are you, sir?
Hello, Chris. I am all right. This is my first bit of content since having surgery on my knee. So we're just seeing if I can hack a whole hour sat down. But it's okay. It's been a funny week because it was very rough and very painful for a few days. I couldn't really do anything. But now it's sort of like it's a little bit of my sort of 40k sabbatical year again. It's just playing some TTS.
You managed, 5 weeks teaching?
I really tried,
Yeah.
I turned up, I did the work. I actually saw, I don't know if you saw in our Discord, there was, I think some students of mine have got into our Discord.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, so that's a fun subplot.
I have not.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone say, "When are you coming back to Econ?" and then tagged me in it.
Oh, nice.
So that would be good fun. So if any of my students are listening to this, there you go. Enjoy that.
Better watch that. There is this moment where I'm like, one of the boys I used to teach, who'd been like year 8 now.
Yeah.
He was like proper into Warhammer in like years 5 and 6. And I'm like, at some point he might just suddenly stumble upon us. Hi, Reese, if you're watching. But also, of course, the reliable Mr. Jack Tight, who came here exactly when needed, not a moment too soon. How are you, Jack?
I definitely didn't get here 2 minutes before we were supposed to go live, but I'm doing great. I've enjoyed a very productive week of painting everyone else's toys and not my own. We've got the wonderful color schemes of Nassim. We'll see if the camera picks up. Probably get a nice gold cave.
There he is. He is.
There we are.
Is that gold Raven card?
Nothing more subtle than creeping up on someone in bright gold armor. He's alone up. You can't see him.
Yeah, enjoyed a nice productive week of painting everyone else's toys.
Is that going? How is the commission's business going, Jack? Obviously, it feels like it's been flying for you.
It's just solid. It's just a nice extra bit of work alongside the other stuff I do. It's kind of weird. I sort of have a collection of different 40k and Warhammer related jobs at this point, and they all combine together quite nicely.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Lovely. Right, well, as always, hello to all you wonderful viewers. Let us know what you're up to in the chat. Are you skiving off work? Are you actually having your lunch? If so, is it a good lunch? Let us know.
Lunch out of 10, please. Let's have it.
But today's show, we are going to be talking about the week in Warhammer, as always. We're then going to be deep diving the Glasshammer GT, because Ed just came back from the Glasshammer GT. So we'll just we'll make some stuff up in his absence. We've then got the award-winning Who Am I, where Tom's score will be Ed's score.
Perfect.
So you've got a world of opportunity to screw him over there. And then we have a couple of lists to deep dive and, of course, a Deirdre to go through. We're going to whistle through it as well, just so Tom doesn't lose all function in his knee.
It's okay. It'll be all right. If I need to take a walk, I'll take a walk.
Yeah, well, was it last week on the podcast, Rob, who's done his back in? He did it standing up.
Yeah, so Rob and I are basically just doing physio and 40k at the moment and playing New Jakari, which if New Jakari is a bit like having to do physio. I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah.
That's how I'd compare those games at the minute. That's very, very reasonable.
There we go. So, the week in Warhammer. Well, a few things actually. So let's go through them. So first of all, I guess most importantly, the new White Scars and Iron Hands detachments have arrived. I think it would be fair to say that there was some trepidation. Like, is this going to be Iron Hands all over again, or is there going to be something horrendous? Raven Guard obviously have made a bit of a wave. Jack, have you had a chance to read either of these so far? How are you feeling about
Yeah,
them?
I've had a look at both. The Iron Hands one is another reworked First Company Task Force, which is probably all you need to know.
Yep.
That's interesting
I
as
don't
a
know.
choice.
It actually seems pretty good, to be fair. I don't think it's going to be the detachment that people play over the others.
Yeah.
And with the White Scars one, I don't know. Nassim's told me to buy the White Scars bike character, which is normally a good sign that
It's a sign
it's
that
pretty
that boy's
good.
got too much money, is what it
And
is.
he's been playing it a bit, and that detachment actually does just look really good. You
Mhm.
get a nice big scary duty unit of infantry marines that sit in a Storm Raven that's very hard to interact with, while having a unit of bikes that stops your opponent from screening you out every turn, because you just go, oh, is that a screening unit? I'll kill it and go behind a wall.
Oh, it's a hit and run bike unit, is it? That's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it goes through walls.
Oh, does
So,
it? Oh,
yeah, it
great.
does. Yeah. So yeah, enjoy those outriders going 18 inches on a good advance roll, going through the wall, killing you, and then going 6 inches behind the nearest wall, and then you go near them and they move another 6 inches behind the wall.
Oh dear.
So that'll be fun to interact with. But that detachment looks really, really good. The Iron Hands one, I don't know. I just it is definitely better than First Company Task Force. And there is some good stuff in it. I just don't think it will be seen over certain other premium Space Marine detachments at the minute.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I think, yeah, I mean, well done them for putting an Iron Hands rule set out that isn't going to define the entire game for a year. I think that's really nice of them to do.
And most importantly, it buffs dreadnoughts and hasn't broken them. So
yeah, that's
well done them.
impressive. And as it's quite fun seeing the actual Special Marine chapters coming out. I'm quite enjoying the character locking of different things. I think that's cool. I think Marines have felt a little bit lacking in depth, despite being everywhere for a while. So I think this gives them some new options, doesn't it? Which is very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we will see how those drop. We also had these faction packs. So GW
Yes.
have dropped in the fact that they are now going to be bundling everything together for your faction. Really nice because let's face it, if you were to coming at it from someone who's just getting into the game, and you'd be like, well, I want to play whatever army, trying to pull together all the different things would be really, really tricky. So the fact that I can now, I'll be able to go, all right, I want to look up everything to do with Grey Knights, or in case of, take someone like AdMech, who've had so many changes and rewrites, and I'll be able to lump it all together. Are we happy with this change?
Yeah, I mean, I think moving to a sort of digital rule set has been great, and I think simplifying that and making that easier to navigate is also great. I'm sure there'll be some casualties in the short term, right, whilst they figure that out. But yeah, I think that's good. I'm very much in favour of it. I don't know what you think, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, what is there to dislike about it, really?
Yeah.
I certainly know in recent times I've had a couple of rules questions that people have asked me, and I've had to look through about 8 different documents to try and find the answer. So the moment we can get that down to 1, that would be fantastic. And to be honest, I think kind of expected, really. I don't think people expect to have to look through 8 different documents to find something they're looking for. I think it's a bit silly, but great idea.
I think the only thing will be, will GW do that whole thing where they manage to make mistakes and like upload the wrong thing, an old thing, or maybe don't, just get the wrong thing up, and then all of a sudden there's a big argument about, well, what rules is written? Actually, it's this. But hopefully they're able to get it right. Now, obviously, in the community, we had different events ruling a certain thing in different ways because with the new Queen detachments, some people said that yes, you'll get the +1 to wound from Oath. Others said no, you didn't. So we had this weird situation where some events were playing completely different rules. It's now been confirmed. That seems like good times for Raven Guard, Jack, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's weirdly, actually, I think that Raven Guard detachment is one of the ones that cares the least about getting +1 to wound on their Oath. Because everything was twin linked already, and
You're dead anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you're already dead. You're now just extra dead. I think this is actually just a much bigger deal for all the other detachments we're seeing. So, I think the I think the new Salamanders detachment looks really, really good with +1 of wound from Oath. The White Scars one looks really good with +1 of wound from Oath. Just because those armies don't have the inbuilt twin linked and stuff that get those profiles across the line. Like DevSense don't need +1 to wound. They were already killing everything in the game. So
yeah, 100%.
There we go. And then, as we announced last time, the Christmas boxes have were announced actually when we were live last time. Now, Joe, as Tom, as someone who likes to dabble in a Christmas box,
Yeah,
occasionally, very.
I am a victim of these every year, and I'm sure I will be again.
Was there any that jumped out at you?
Yeah, so I have two sets of thoughts on this actually. I think there are a couple of really nice ones, and the really nice ones are where they've gone quite indulgent on new releases, especially. So I think the Emperor's Children one I think is really good. If you're just starting EC, I think that basically gets you like the rest of the way there to rounding out your collection with Flawless Blades, Fulgrim, Noise Marines. I think that's very nice. I think the Votan one is good fun if you haven't got some of the new bits and you want the Capricus and the Earthshakers, and you also want some Berserks. Let's say you're doing Delve Assault Shift. I think a lot of people have like 3x5 Berserkers, but actually need some more, and you probably want a Capricus, you probably want some Chthonian Earthshakers for that detachment. So I think that's a good little buy for them. And then I also quite like the Krieg one, the Siege Platoon. That woke something up in me.
I was exactly.
Yeah.
For me. It was where. Sorry, just if you're watching the show, for some reason I keep losing connection to my PowerPoint,
and it's just showing you me.
And so every so often, Tom's face is just going to come up as I try and fix it. So everyone loves a surprise.
I mean, I'm very happy with this turn of events. So it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought you'd like the Krieg one as well.
The Krieg one was for me quite a, because I actually did buy the original when it first came out. I bought it and then went, "Come on, Christopher, be sensible," and then I ended up donating it to our charity fundraiser for our event.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did see that and think,
yeah, something about Krieg just does. They just look amazing, don't they? Like the work to get that army on the table would be absurd. And also, like, do you want to be that guy who is playing his rigorously thematic Krieg army and won't change the other things about in it, and it's not very good, potentially not. But so that's the good. That's my teaching strategy. Is you always lead with the good, right? And then I think you could probably say that the Tau one is okay as well.
It's the same as every other year.
The Tau one is always like, here's a bunch of suits. If you like Tau, you like suits. You haven't got new Farsight. Why not go for it?
Yeah.
Then I think, honestly, my assessment is there's a few where they have just tried to cut corners and save money. That's what I'm saying. You've got the Crusher Stampede where they're trying to sneak in your Push Fit, Screamer Killer, and Neurotyrant. You've got your Space Marines where they're trying to sneak in a bunch of the bits and bobs for the Space Marines as well. It's okay, that Marine box. It's not a complete disaster. And then the CSM one where, again, you're sneaking in just cheap sprue Venom Crawler.
Can you buy Obliterators yet?
They have never had their own box. No, I think you can buy some ludicrously overpriced multi-sprue thing with the Venom Crawler and the Oblits. But it's like it just those boxes do feel a bit half-assed to me. I don't think they are massively exciting. I mean, I guess if you were a NIDS player and you hadn't done monsters yet, you might want to go for Maleceptor, Haruspex, Tyrannofex, whatever. So it would get a couple of those boxes would get you up on a Crusher Stampede list pretty quickly, but those ones do feel a little bit lazy for me. And it has to be said, the overall contents in all of these is a bit scaled down from where they were a little while ago. And I know we know the economic times we're living in, but GW take their prices up, don't they, every time? So I do feel like a few of these feel a bit stretched on the value compared to previous times. And I'm not sure quite what the buy-in, certainly from existing players, is going to be for those. I'm less likely to make a random splurge on it, although I am looking at the Skaven one for AOS, but that's a different problem.
Well, there you go. Jack, any new army coming your way?
Yeah, I think with these boxes, it kind of depends on what they end up pricing them at. I think we're worryingly looking like it might be 150 this year, I think, or something like that. And I think that's the territory where a lot of these start to look a little bit unappealing. I think if these were like 120 again, sort of base. 130, which would then go down to like 105 from third-party retailers. I think all of these are actually just decent boxes to buy. I actually think compared to previous years, there's not a single box here that looks like it's been filled entirely with stuff I don't want.
Yeah, that is
Which
true.
is normally what they do.
Yeah,
Like
that is true.
this year, I cannot see a single box where I'm like, no, I don't want 30 heavy intercessors. Is the sort of thing they normally like sticking.
Only Ed.
So
yeah.
I don't know. I actually quite like the direction of the boxes in general. It doesn't feel like it's filled with one particular unit, and it does actually feel like it's just a nice place to start a detachment with. But it all depends on that price point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Right. Oh, talking of heavy intercessors and Ed, we would now obviously love to deep dive into the Glasshammer GT. We're not going to be as fantastically on the ball with this as I'd have liked us to have been, because we have no Mr. Watts here, who actually did quite well. So if we have a look at our top placings, hopefully it's just going to appear on the screen. So in the first place, we've got Necrons, and we've got some dirty War Masters player there at the top. Jack, be very proud, I'm sure.
A new recruit.
New recruit.
Oh,
Already
goodness.
winning.
War Masters have recruited pretty aggressively lately, haven't they, Jack? Pretty
Yeah.
I don't know what
aggressive.
you mean.
I think you know exactly what I mean.
That's
There's
the team's new strategy.
a few very good players coming over. Yeah, nice.
Spicy. Then we've got Aiden with his on my goblins, very nice, and sisters. We've got Ed, who doesn't play for a team.
He's not put 6++.
He's not put 6++. Thanks, Ed.
Edward.
Good lad, good lad. On World Eaters, we then got Dark Angels, Black Templars, Chaos Knights, more World Eaters, Death Guard. This was a 32-player event, not the biggest. As I said, I did pick this one simply because Ed was there and would be able to give us the idea. It was on WTC Train and Scoring.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see that. So if we just look into our podium list, so Necrons. Now, Ed played Necrons in the final. He lost. He said something about bouncing off 4-up invulnerables. So if we dive into this, so it seems like Star Shatter is making a bit of a comeback at the moment.
Yep.
Quite a lot of discussion about that. So then we've got Mr. Silent King himself, Catacomb, Command Barrage, Psychomancer, Scorpet Lord, so triple Lords there. 2 units of 5 flayed ones, or Praetorians back in business. That's exciting.
Yes.
2 units of 5 of them. We've then got some individual Locust Destroyers, triple Doomsday Arc, and Triax Stalker. Now, every time I look at these sorts of lists, I'm like, there isn't much stuff there. Surely
there really
this
isn't.
be okay. So, what are your thoughts, Tom, on this sort of list?
I think this is a really interesting list. I mean, Andy is a Necron expert, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a few. I think all of these Necrons have to play quite a patient, drawn-out game where they just sort of attrition the opponent down for sort of the first few turns and then just dominate in the latter half of the game, right? And you know, Triple DDA and Silent King is well placed to do that. The individual Scorpate Lord is interesting because they've got nothing to. There's nothing to support them, right? He's not led by anything. They're not leading anything. They're just running about on their own. They do some impact mortals on the charge. They've got like 4 attacks. It's quite an odd little choice.
Is it the resilience, do we think?
Yeah, I think they're probably just obnoxious for their points, and it gives you a little bit of like early trading and putting stuff out and whatever else. Mm-hmm. So I can see the use in that, but it does feel like he's economizing with that. And little Triarch Praetorians and Flayed Ones. Basically, you're going to play the game with the Flayed Ones, Triarchs, and the Scorpate Lords, and just shoot them with the Silent King and the Doomsday Arcs until you get enough of a material lead that you can push out. Right? And it's good at doing that. And it's in, you know, I think it's a very solid list in that sense. The Psychomancer is interesting. The one little Psychomancer, I don't know how the Ed game went, but if I was to guess, I would say that the Psychomancer battle shocked a couple of Berserker bricks at different moments in the game, which then made them just die because they could just be shot to bits. And that's where the Psychomancer, we saw that tech before, didn't we, Jack? I know that's one of your favourite bits of Necron tech.
I love that unit.
Yeah, you absolutely love losing a diff point every time that does something.
Yeah, it was only 6 times in that game.
Yeah. So he's actually quite a sneaky bit of anti-World Eaters tech, and I wonder if he had quite a big say in the World Eaters game with Ed, because if a couple of those bricks fail their battle shocks and can't surge, then they are just getting picked apart by the shooting in the list. So yeah, I mean it's classic Necrons Star Shatter. I always look at these lists and I'm a bit confused about how they stay alive and stay in the game, but then they just do every time. So yeah, very, very powerful. And obviously Andy is an expert, so he does very, very well with that list.
Lovely. And then Aidan, he's been on Blood Angels.
Go on, Jack.
And now he's back on Sisters.
Yes.
So scores of 12, 20, 10, 13, and 16. So quite close games, apart from a couple of them. So, Jack, we have got here Champions of Faith. Okay. We've got the Demonivuge, and then we've got Morven, Celestine, Canoness, Dogmata, then got unit of 10 Battle Sisters, 10 Arcoflagellants, 3 Arcoflagellants. Then we've got 25 Sacrosants, 2 units of 5 Retributors, 10 Sanctifiers. Never heard of them. Let's have a look what I know about Sisters. And then we've got 2 units of 5 Seraphim, and then obviously the unit of Paragon Warsuits to go with Morven Val, and then double Rhino. Is this the new hotness, or is this just an alternate take on things, Jack?
There's a lot of the new hotness for Sisters here. It's quite interesting, really, because Sisters haven't had any, like big alarm bell buffs where people go, oh my god, they've mega buffed Sisters, they're now incredibly OP. And instead, they've just had a bunch of small little things that have slowly added up over the course of the past few months.
Yeah.
And then in the most recent one, they buffed Retributors. So Retributors originally, in their original form, had, I think it was reroll 1s to wound, and that was it. They now have reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound, and +1 to hit and +1 to wound against anything that's killed one of your units.
Yeah.
That unit has had a massive blow up
Yeah.
and has gone down 20 points since release.
Yeah, that's very dangerous.
So that's been a pretty big reason behind the resurgence. I think the other one is Sanctifiers. So that's the new sort of kill team with a whole bunch of like little different dudes. And it looks like a mess on paper, and it's a mess to interact with in game. It's got Scout 6, it's got like 5 hand flamers, it's got a normal flamer, it's got 2 once per game, strength 6 AP1, 2 damage flamers, and they're just a really good all-round unit for early game stuff, right? You bring them out, you kill all your opponent's chaff with them and go, cool, this 100-point unit has a 5-up invuln and resurrects models, so please give me something a lot more expensive than them to kill them. And it really gets the pace of the game going. So they've been a really solid unit. But the list overall, so Champions of Faith, I think it's a much more of a I'm gonna get my small win territory kind of list, as you've probably seen it from his scores.
Yeah.
Sacrosanct, so this really incredibly durable anvil unit, which just refuses to die. And yeah, it just kind of looks like it's you put your Sacrosancts out after killing your opponent's chaff with your Sanctifiers. You wait for your opponent to try and kill the Sacrosancts, and then when they try to kill your Sacrosancts, you sort of hammer them back with your Retributors and your Paragon Warsuits. I think you're going to see a lot of very similarly flavored lists in different Sisters detachments where they kill all your chaff with Sanctifiers. You come out to deal with some problem in their list, whether that's 6 vehicles, the Sacrosancts, Arcoflagellants, something, and then they kill you with 2 to 3 units of Retributors and a Paragon Warsuits.
Yes. Yeah,
And
and it's fair to say some of the armies that went away helps them a little bit, right? In terms of they don't really have to worry about things like big Stompy Knights or Death Guard, these sorts of things running about. And they had one of the books that just had an incredible set of rules. So now they've had a few additional buffs here and there. They should be in a nice position to sort of sneak back into the game. But yeah, certainly on win rate and event runs in competitive innovation, Sisters have been creeping back for several months, and I think people have cottoned on now. It's very nice. Aiden's a Sisters specialist. First time I ever played him, he was on Sisters, and it's nice. He's never quite gelled with them this edition, so it's really nice to see him taking a podium place with them here. That's really cool.
There you go. And third place, this would be a perfect opportunity for Ed to talk us through it.
He's arrived. He's in the chat.
He's in the chat.
He's literally here. You can add him in literally now. He's arrived just when it's time to talk about his result.
Oh my word! Look at that. Let's add him to the scene. Liz is
Hello.
live. Boom! He's here. He's awake. Hey
I was,
Ed,
I
how are
was,
you?
I've been awake for a while. To be fair, my phone was dead, and I was around my sister's house looking after my niece.
Oh, nice.
Because I forgot my charger, so I've had a bit of a rough day. Oh, Tom's big. Hi,
Hello,
Tom.
I'm big.
We're working through a few of our very own technical difficulties. Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, Ed, we're talking through the Glasshammer GT,
Oh, fantastic.
which you went
Oh,
to.
I went to see that. Yeah, I was there.
We I was just spoke about Andy and Aidan, but we're just about to talk about third place,
Sick.
Mr. Ed Watts. So how did you find your run out with World Eaters? And do you want to talk us through your list?
Yeah, they're really good. It's the first time I used them at an event, so I was like just trying to like learn like sort of the damage outputs and stuff. I was sort of like trying to figure out the exact allocation of stuff where he's put it because I've already like made a few mistakes with it in the practice games. I'm like fantastic, not as in like rules mistakes, but just like actually trying to figure out what best to put my damage into. And the actual list itself is basically pretty simple. I'm not gonna lie. It's 70 dudes, Khan, 2 Juggernaut Lords, and 3 spawned Jackal and Goremongers. Um, and basically what you do is you put everything behind some terrain for a turn, and then you shove everything out for a turn. That is pretty much the theory. And then you have blood surges, and you put a lot of pressure, and you try to really put a chokehold on it. Now, the blood surge is a very powerful ability. This is basically what the list kind of relies upon, right? Also, the Glasshammer terrain itself is literally designed for this sort of list. You can literally sit. You can literally sit. All of the maps have really good staging. Like there's lots of places to hide, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, that's the reason why I took that to Glasshammer GT. I mean, my first 4 games were literally just felt like there wasn't much people could do about it. Is basically that the amount of damage you have and the amount of like arc charges, tagging, like cuddling all the units in really fun and interesting ways, all that sort of stuff. But like as soon as you sort of get to the point where you actually are starting to do damage, bogging people down, tagging stuff, there's not really much people can do afterwards. So first 4 games were pretty good, and then yeah, and that's basically the list. You just put pressure, you try and kill stuff, and you keep people into the deployment zone. You put them into a berserker jail, and by the end of the game, you're normally like, you've only got like 10 or 15 Marines left. You do lose a lot of Marines because they are literally just Marine bodies, right? But they by then hopefully they've killed the things, and that's fine.
So how was your fifth game then?
5th game was a shame. I mean, I played Andy. Basically, we rushed like the last 2 turns in like 8 minutes.
No.
Sorry, no, not the last 2. I think it was like the last 2.5 turns in like 8 minutes. So there's like I didn't know. I couldn't really track what was going on and that sort of thing. And I failed 2 battle shocks, which didn't help. Yeah, I failed 2 battle shocks and didn't help. Like Psychomancer, just both 20 mans, both got battle shocked, which obviously means that they go blood surge, and it means DDAs just shoot them, and they can't -1 damage in combat, and all that sort of thing, right? So that obviously didn't help, but it still felt like it was my game to win for a lot of the game, even though this was happening. Like, and I still got 2 15s. I got unlucky to kill some Praetorians with a grenade and some Jackals attacks, which really should do it. But they didn't. And then when that didn't kill them, they managed to deny 5 points off me. Obviously, this is the rushing stage, so I didn't think to do +1 AP and all this sort of thing, like which would have killed them. I feel like this game, if you play it 1,000 times with like the clock, the world is probably win pretty comfortably, to be honest. Like I think even if I failed both the battle shocks, it's normally okay because by then you've still scored enough points to be able to, have a lead. Because I was looking at the score, I'm like, dude, I'm like 35 points ahead, and we've got 8 minutes left. Like I don't really know what to say, But we rushed it through, and it was 11-9 or 12-8 in the end. I think it was. I don't know. I kind of lost interest after we were speeding through 8, like almost half an hour's worth, like almost half an hour, 40 minutes worth of play in 8 minutes. But that's why you use a clock, kids. So yeah, it was good.
What did you think of the World Eaters? Sorry, what did you think of the Necron list? Because we were talking about it just previously.
I don't know, man. Like, it's not. The thing is,
This is such an incendiary thing to ask Ed when you know what he thinks about Necrons.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. I'm about to, Necron players in the chat. Get ready, sit down, get yourself a cup of tea, or don't listen. But it's going to be rough. So effectively, it is mindless. It's literally mindless. Like it doesn't. It's like you walk forward with AP4 guns and rely on people failing battle shocks. What on earth is that game? Like it's just. I was like, it's like it's just like every single time. It's like it felt like his crux moment of the entire game was like a unit failing a battle shock and him shooting it with 3 DDAs. Like fantastic. You go, dude. Like that's great. And obviously, nothing against Andy. It's just his army is boring as hell.
For those of you who don't know, Ed hates Necrons with a burning passion.
Yeah, so much.
So that is why we like to talk to him about Necrons.
Yeah, but I mean, the list itself, though, it's Star Shatter with 3 DDAs. There's nothing else can possibly put into words about it, right? It is just, it is what it is. And also, we've got a Tom Big again. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Yeah.
I am inevitable.
I'm inevitable.
Every, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, it just goes, you know what, I've had enough. And then vanishes. Anyway, cool. So what would you say how did the meta feel at your event then, Ed?
Felt pretty balanced, right?
Balanced?
Yeah, I mean, it was combat boards, and combat armies did a little bit better. Obviously, the Star Shatter list did well, but I think he had like a lot of close games. Like I think 3 close games by memory, maybe 2. But obviously, I think a lot of the Necron game is just trying to scam you as well. So like, I think I just put them into the middle of the board and just try and pass 4-up saves. And I think he did that to Gareth a bit. And yeah, I don't know. I think the meta overall felt pretty balanced. Look at the top 10. I think you got like 2 duplicates for World Eaters, and that's it.
Yeah. No, it definitely feels that way.
It's a mix of styles as well. It's not. I think we were thinking that the meta would be purely combat rushy after the slate, and actually, that's not really how it's transpired, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think basically as soon as you have a set of terrain where the World Eaters can do well, they become very dangerous, right? Like,
yes.
I think that's one thing you got to remember, and that's okay. Like having terrain sets that make combat more viable is fine, but there's still lots of angles here, and there's obviously still ways to beat them because Andy beat me. I mean, the main thing is like battle shock tech in the game is really important. The Psychomancer just has the best and the most stupid one. That is the only issue. But yeah, I think the better seems okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That's Ed's hot takes on the meta. Right. Anyway, now we come to the reason everyone's actually watching this show, which is, of course, the wonderful game Who Am I? So for the podcast listeners and for Tom, this game is quite simple. I'm going to present a series of clues. In my mind is a certain character from the Warhammer 40,000 universe.
Okay.
And I'm going to present a series of clues. After each clue, you need to write down who you think I am talking about.
Love it. Okay.
And when I present the next clue, you've got choices. You could stick with who you are. You could change it up. Or you could maybe go to someone who you had previously. Okay. At some point, you'll think you'll know who it is, and that's when that will be your points that's scored. It's currently very close because Ed and Jack are both sitting on 18 points because they both failed last week. For the first time, you both failed at guessing who it was. Okay. So yeah, you don't need to shout out who you've written in the chat. They can join in, but obviously don't write down who you're thinking. So, clue 1. This character's world died in 984.m30.
Oh dear.
So this character's world died in 984.m30. and they do get easier. That's true.
Okay, we're going all in.
So you write down someone you think. Ed and Jack, have you got someone?
Yep.
I have written down a name.
Excellent. That's what I like. That is the name of the game. Clue 2.
A name.
This character had to raise himself.
I'm sticking.
Oh, exciting.
Oh no! Tom's confidence in what he is saying makes me think I know who it is. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with this. There's only one character Tom even knows about. So.
I've given myself away. I've told on myself.
If I'm right about this is going to be really impressive.
Yeah, this will be you playing. This will be
well.
you playing the man, not the game, and I will deserve it. Let's see.
Number 3. This character hurt Rogel Dawn.
Ooh.
This
I
character
might be wrong.
Rogel Dawn.
Oh, I don't know. I can believe it. Why not? A stick.
I could also believe it. I'm also going to stick.
How are you feeling at the moment, Jack?
I thought I was alright in the first 2, and now I feel less alright.
Yeah.
It's vanished again. I can't bother to fix it for now. So you're just going to have to pretend. Number 4. This character had a labyrinth built
Oh dear.
to torture Vulcan. This character had a labyrinth built to torture Vulcan.
I mean, I don't know, but it sounds very him.
And number 5. This Primarch was assassinated by a Calidus assassin.
Boom. Okay.
This Primarch was assassinated by a Calidus assassin. So, after round 1, who had we written down? Jack, who did you write after round 1?
I just put Araman.
Who?
Araman.
Araman. Who's Araman?
Araman.
Yeah.
Araman is the Thousand Suns guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that Araman. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, of course, yeah.
Who's Araman, Chris?
Yeah, I was like, in my head, I was
forget
like,
yourself.
It sounds like he's saying saying arrogant. And I was like, that's the wrong guess. Tom, who did you write after?
I wrote Comrade Kurz, Chris.
Did you?
I did.
Interesting. Okay, and who did you write?
I wrote Comrade Curse, Chris.
Did you? Right, okay. After round 2, Jack, who had you gone for?
At that point, I had changed to Conrad.
You changed it to Conrad Curse. And did everyone else stick with Conrad?
I did stay the course. I had a wobble when you
did.
I forgot about. I wasn't sure about the hurting Rogel Dawn. I almost panicked and switched to Perturabo, but then I stayed the course.
Okay.
See, I decided the same. I wasn't sure, and I thought I might have had it wrong at round 3. But then Tom was like, I can believe it. And I was like, you know what? I can too.
Me too, guys. Me too. Lovely. Wow, that's a... Tom just comes in and just storms the game immediately. That's what Ed did last time. Ed got a lucky guess straight away.
Yeah, I shouldn't have helped him out. I should let him swing.
Yeah.
Should let him swing in his doubt, but that was fine. He nailed it. Does he just? He has to destroy his own world, doesn't he? I think.
Well, he chooses to. Yeah, I did a lot of research. See, man, he's messed up.
Oh, isn't he just?
That whole story. I read it all yesterday. All like the online stuff. I was like, oh my word, this guy.
Yes, he is. He's pretty special in the 40k lore for being just absolutely awful. But he had a tough time as well.
He did have a tough time growing up and stuff.
He did,
and then just annihilated everyone on the world, everyone remotely naughty.
Yeah.
So fair play. Yeah. All right. Wow.
He has a very different leadership style to you, Chris.
Yeah. Maybe I should take a note from his book.
Please
so,
don't.
This is our point where we talk through our members list that have been submitted. As always, if you want to be a YouTube member, why not? Go on, do it. And in return, you can join our Discord. You get a special section in our Discord where you can submit lists for our panel of experts to deep dive. So we got Mr. Sam here, and he wants some advice for World Eaters. Berserker Warband. He has given us a challenge, guys. Very kind of him. So first of all, here's his list. Khan, Lord on Juggernaut with Battle Lust, 2 Slaughterbound with Berserker Glaives and Favour of Corn, 10 and 20 Berserkers, 3 8-bound, 3 Exalted 8-bound, 3 units of 2 Spawn, 2 Forge Fiends, and a Rhino. Now, his challenge to us is the fact that he doesn't like the fact that this list is 1985 points. That makes him sad. And he therefore challenges us to make it not a rubbish list and also be 2,000 points on the nose, which might be a bit tricky. But this list has 15 points to spare. I can tell you for free that the detachments are 25, 50 points. So he basically, if you got rid of all the detachments, you've got 65 points to spare. So we'll start with you, Ed. I guess you're the World Eater's main here. Any thoughts on this list? It's quite
Yeah,
a general list.
yeah, it seems to be quite like generalized, pretty balanced list, right? I'm bringing up Force Org so I can play around with the list. So mine
It's
is
got to
19.
keep, I should add, it's got to keep the Forge Fiends, Khan, the Juggerlord, and the 30 Berserkers.
So Khan, Lord, oh god. So I think then I think the best answer, the best I can get close to is 1995, and that's if you just drop everything that you want and take 70 Berserkers. That's pretty good. Tom's gonna go big again. I'm predicting it now. Go on.
Oh, yeah. My screen keeps flat.
Inevitable. But nah. So I think basically with the list that he's got, I think Forge Fiends aren't that right now. Tom's big again, yeah. But I think Tom. I think Tom. I think the I think that the 8-bound are fine. And I think that in a more balanced list, the Forge Fiends give you some guns. But realistically, I'm not sure if the Forge Fiends are massively worth it. I can't remember how many points Demon Prince is. Is it 195 by
We've
chance?
got to keep the Forge Fiends. Okay, that's
Oh
one of the
god.
things. So I guess the question is: does he need 6 spawn? Does he need these 8-bound and exalted? Is there any tweaking that he can do amongst the spawn and 8-bound to get what he wants, or to make a
Maybe.
better list?
So he's got so the Slaughterbound. Are they needed? Are they? Is that what he wants? He wants to keep them as well.
No, they can go.
Okay. So let's have a look. So Slaughterbound, Berserker Glaive, and Favored Corn. So we dropped the one with Favored Corn. Favored Corn. So let's see. That will cost.
Surely you need some infiltrators, right? Does he not want some Goremongers?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking to see what you can fit in. Trying to make it exactly 2,000 points because my maths is making me do that. And then we've got the normal unit of Exaltate. So we'll take
Hope you're enjoying this podcast, listeners.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to be as quick as I can just so I can answer this question. So 235 points is so 235 points is your Slaughterbound with the Favored of Corn and your 8-bound. So if you drop those two, that is 235 points. You have 15 points spare, so that's 250, correct?
Yep.
Cool. So we're on the same page. So we'll have some Goremongers. That'll make it that you've got 135 points left. No, 165 points left. And for 165 points, you can get an awkward thing. Oh, I've lost it. Oh, 135 points. So 135 points, what can you get? You can get like a Hellbrute, which is pretty good. Oh, there you go. No, 165 points. You get 2 Jackals. That leaves you 35 points. I've lost it. I don't know what else you can get for that. I think you could probably get like a Chaos Pred or something like that, but you don't want that. That's not very good. So I think basically if you're committing to keeping the units you want, like the 2 Forge Fiends, you just end up with an awkward number of points. You could potentially, I would try and get in some Goremongers. So potentially, like maybe just dropping the Slaughterbound with Favored of Corn for Goremongers, but you have 30 points spare. So like it becomes even more awkward. But there's nothing that's an easy swap. I think the Rhino is good for Khan. I don't think what else you can do. It's just having 2 Forge Fiends and the Lord on Juggernaut and the 20 and Khan. There's not much left to play with, right? And the stuff that you have left to play with is going to leave you about 15, 20 points either way, unless you drop something else. So no, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think to get exactly 2,000 points, which is the challenge that it sets me. I have no idea, but I would try and get some infiltrators in because you've got it was 100% because I like the infiltrators, and also the Gormongers are really good for board control. It protects your scouts from the spawn. Because I do think 3 units of 2 spawn are pretty essential. So for first turn pressure, first turn move blocks, first turn just being annoying because like you've sometimes you have this little gap where a vehicle can get out. You just charge the gap, tag the tank, and kill a unit behind, kill a unit on the way, which is lovely. So yeah, I think the 3 to 2 spawn is super important, and yeah, if you want everything that you want, I think that's the list that you're going to have basically, and you have to sort of accept that you've got 15 points less. But I'd try and get in some Gormongers if you can. It would be my advice.
Nice. Okay. Then, obviously, Tom, you absolutely love Custodes.
I love them. I'm really good at Custodes.
Jack has dabbled in Custodes before to painted award-winning style. But we've got Phil here who hasn't set us a challenge as such, apart from on paper he really likes this list, but it's rubbish apparently and needs fixing. So here we go. We have got 2 Alaris Shield Captains. We've got a Jetbite Shield Captain. We've got 2 units of 4 Custodian Guard, 3 units of 3 Alaris, 2 units of 4 Witch Seekers, 2 units of 2 Bikes, 2 Rhinos, 6 Inquisitorial Agents, and an Inquisitor. We'll give Tom a bit of thinking time on this, and we'll go over to Jack first. So Jack, as a former Custodes main, what do we think?
I think it's the classic trap of I'm playing Lions, therefore I must have 3 units of Alaris Terminators.
We're gonna radically disagree on our feedback.
Enemy here.
I think a unit, maybe 2 in this detachment is fine. I think 3 units is too many. Because you're never going to use the strat on all 3. And you're like, well, you've got 2 shield captains, presumably who you want to join the Alaris, which means that neither of those shield captains, well, maybe one of them has one of the enhancements.
Yeah, one of them. I think they both have enhancements, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, in my mind, you want one of them to have the lone op enhancement, and then you want one to have the resurrect enhancement.
I can't remember what the lone op enhancement's called.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's
got
in my mind, you want those.
It's got Presidius and Superior Creation on the 2 shield captains in Alaris, and then he's got Admon Immortis, which I think is extra damage maybe on the Jetbite captain.
Yeah, I think it's one of those cases where you've given the shield captains, the Alaris shield captains, enhancements where they want to run around and be their own dude that doesn't die, and then you have 2 units for them to attach to. So I think my initial thought is you probably want to cut 3 of the Alaris at least, maybe 6. That's personal preference, I think. And then maybe that way you've got slightly more points to play around with. I think I'd take out the Inquisitorial Agents.
You need 2 Rhinos as well for the Witch Seekers?
Probably not. So that's probably another place where you pick up a chunk of points. So we've probably picked up probably about 380 points so far. You can then chuck Draxus in if you want to run the 2 Custodian Guard squads. So you can have one with Draxus, one with an Inquisitor, just so they're quite shooty. I'm going to try not to immediately go to 15 Wardens with Blade Champs, because that feels like what we're trying to avoid. So I think beyond that, it's probably just taking more Custodian Guard. I think with the points drops, they're probably just a really solid battle line unit at the moment. I'd try and have them all attached to by an Inquisitor or Draxus of some kind. So yeah, maybe a 3rd unit of Custodian Guard and another Inquisitor if the points allow for it. Otherwise, I'd just say play 15 Wardens and 3 Blade Champs, but that's not the point of this. So, but yeah, that feels like probably what I do. Cut 3 Alaris, cut the Agents, cut the Rhinos, take another unit of Guard, get Draxus in there, and get another Inquisitor in there to lead the Custodian Guard.
Nice. Tom, obviously you're about to say we should be taking 18.
I think obviously the best play pattern for Lions is to unleash the Lions every turn with a brick of Alarus. And so he started promisingly here with his 3x3, but I think we can double that. I know we can double that.
You can get 20 Alaris in,
Yeah, so, and I think it would be good for those to have captains for every squad. And again, he started well. He's got 2. I'd like the third one in there so that every Brit can be led and that he can also then split and go solo on his own.
I like it.
Harry Styles-esque when the moment comes. And then there's just a bunch of other dross in here, like Custodes Guard, who I have always thought are very light on damage. And so, you can probably trim some of that. And rhinos are for cowards. I think, and I don't know why you've got people that aren't golden in there as well as Inquisitors and Inquisitorial Agents.
Yeah.
So basically, just double down on the Alarus splitting plan would be my advice.
Would look really good alongside 18 Alaris.
Yeah,
Land Raider.
A Land Raider would actually be really
what are we
good.
doing with rhinos? Why are we not just taking a Land Raider?
That's it. I think you pull all that.
It hits on twos.
That entire Inquisitorial entourage just gets swapped out for a Land Raider.
Yeah, you split them all, get them all around Rhino, and they explode like a little sun.
Yeah. So, and it's a multi-turn thing here. But what I'm seeing, I think we unleash the Lions, then they all individually hop into the Land Raider, and then you can basically just trade with individual Alarus.
It's genius.
From safety.
Genius. I think we just solved Warhammer.
Yeah, indefinitely, basically.
You have to trade one at a time because obviously then they don't get their +1 to hit and wound.
Yeah, you don't want any of them standing too near each other. So they will. But that's where the Rhino, the extra 3-inch disembark, helps them to get far enough away from each other to stop them losing their buffs. So I think the Land Raider is actually really central in that because they can all fan out in a 9-inch spread from the Land Raider when the time comes.
And they can screen out the board.
Yes.
It takes them a while to get to the edge of the board, but you can screen out the board.
And then my other key thought is I think can you put those 2x2 bikes into one single murder brick? I don't know if that's possible.
Can you take 3 bikes? Can you take bikes in 4s?
I don't know. I'm not an expert, but what I'd like is for that unit with the bike captain to be one huge unwieldy death brick of bikes. Oh, you can take up to 3. So let's not do that.
So there we are, Phil. Hopefully we've solved.
I'm legitimately. I don't know where Lions Custodes sits at the minute, but with the way the meta's moving and different things are popping up in different ways, I'd be quite interested to know they've got a lot of horde volume shooting for all the horde type stuff. But I've no idea if they're in any kind of position to play the game at the minute.
Maybe not on UKTC where they just
definitely not on UKTC where they can't reach anything and they die. Yeah.
But hey, for WTC, then,
you never know. Yeah, exactly.
And let us finish now with a dear Deidre. Unfortunately, one of our listeners is struggling to sleep at night, so we need to help him out.
Okay.
Dearest Auntie, why is Castellan Crow such a liability to the Imperium? I go to bed at night worried about his poor decision making and how likely we are to release a ridiculously strong demon into the universe. That's from the one and only Mr. Mark Crumbleholm.
Oh, nice.
Obviously, Grey Knight's well known for hunting demons and suffering not any sort of demon, apart from Castellan Crow, who decided to have a sword which is basically a demon sword. Does it give him these wonderful, magnificent abilities? Nope. It is in fact just as powerful as any other Grey Knight close combat weapon at strength 6 -2 damage. It does have devastating wounds, of course. But unfortunately, this could go wrong at any point. Why on earth is he being allowed to do this? And could it all go wrong? Do we agree with Mark that it's a terrible decision?
I mean, I'd like, in a world of Warhammer 40k where the data sheets are all the same, I think I would make a deal with a demon and probably betray every value I have to just get devastating wounds. I think I would. So that's my personal opinion. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm pretty sure
You wouldn't want to know what
do it.
he'd do for hammers in the units, mate.
I would probably fight Angron.
They would go over to chaos for that stuff.
Yeah, I'd fight Angron with a wooden pencil just to be able to have hammers back, and they'd be damage 3. Oh my god!
Yeah,
incredible.
I'm going to say
Might be
Castellan
lovely.
Crow has actually done a lot of self-improvement over the last couple of editions. 'Cause actually, originally, Castellan's Crow's combat weapon used to be garbage. It used to just be a close combat weapon. It used to just be strength 4 AP 0.
But that's because he made a deal with a demon.
Yeah, it's gotten better for him, right? If you think about it, over the last 6 years, he's gone from having the worst weapon for a named character in the game, because it was just a fist, basically. You just punch them with your bare hands. And I think it had force, which meant if you got a wound through it, instantly killed them. To having a combat weapon on par with the rest of the Grey Knights, but slightly better. So in the next 5 years, it'll be 10 attacks at 10-3-3.
Yeah,
I
I don't know. I'm looking at this. I think this is a good long-term investment plan.
Yeah, I think the next stage is going to be he's going to have a demon literally flying out of it rather than that's just poking out at the end of the sword, and it's going to be like a damage 4 weapon. It's going to be awesome, and then they're going to have to kill Crow. They look at legends.
Yeah, we'll get Grego back, so it'll be okay.
Yeah,
he'll be back at some point, right? On a big rock.
Hopefully. Oh yeah, it's going to be the biggest of all the tactical rocks. Is the dream. Well, thank you very much as always for joining us, you lovely viewers. Hopefully, podcast listeners, you have enjoyed this too. We have been the Lunchtime Crew, and we will be back next time to discuss more about the world of Warhammer, and hopefully with less technical issues. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.